Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, Paris Saint-Germain versus Newcastle United pre-match live, where we will look at the team lineups when they are announced in, I think, in about a quarter of an hour's time, about 6:45, I think it is, because it's a bit different Champions League compared to Premier League. If you've liked what you see, please do smash that like. It does help keep the channel towards the top of the search and means new viewers find it more easily. So please do give it a like. Thank you very much. It only takes 2 seconds to click the thumbs up. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, come and smash that subscribe. Come and be part of this great community we have here. It's free to do so. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. 63 away now, from hitting 1,100 subscribers. So that would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. And also, if you want to become a member, it is 99p. Just click the join button. And if you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by clicking on the $sign as well. If you want to make a donation, all money in the channel gets reinvested. So thank you very much indeed. Right. Before we get into the show, let's get into some comments because the comments have come flying in. And let's see who's about. So Julie was first in. Hopefully I'll make it home tonight in time for the show. Might be slightly late. There's traffic. And she's made it. Well done, Julie. Fingers crossed for you. Yeah, she's made it. Good evening. Good evening to you, Julie. Hope you're well. Mad Max says, good evening, everyone. Let's get into these garlic munchers. Absolutely, mate. BS says, good evening, everyone. Almost time for some frogs on toast. Evening, Tony and Roly says, trolls. Yeah, Roly's not yet at the moment. He will join me soon. He's just having his tea. So, Mary says, evening all. Good evening to you, Mary. Hope you're well. Gary says, hi, everyone. Hope you're all good. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. Just looking forward to the match now, mate, aren't we? Absolutely can't wait for the match. Good evening, Tony. Says, Bia, good evening to you, mate. Hope you're well. Alan says, evening, Tony and Roly in chat. Give us the team news, Tony. Yeah, as soon as we have that team news, mate, it'll be straight there. Don't you worry about that at all, mate. And hope you're well. Ben says, hi, Tony and Roly. How are you doing? Hope we beat PSG tonight and get us through. Yeah, I mean, look, there's every chance, isn't there? So, who knows? My score prediction 2-2 or 3-2, says Holly to us. Nice one, Holly, and hope you're well. Hi, guys. Long time no see. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, where you been, Clarky? Not seen you for a while. Pete's in the chat. Hello, Pete, mate. Hope you're well. He says, 1-1 draw. I'm going for tonight. Do you know what? I'll take a draw as well, Pete. Absolutely, mate. Definitely. Lee says, evening, Tony and everyone. Let's have it. Come on, the mighty Toon Army. Absolutely. Hope you're well. Mary says, how many fouls and cards given by the referee before sending off? Yeah, we don't know, do we? Youngsters won this afternoon, says Jan. Absolutely. We're going to come to that in a minute. I fear we will lose tonight, but who knows? Hey, don't fear, trolls. Look, everybody thought it was going to be a tough game against Chelsea. And look what happened there. We beat them 4-1. So, keep the faith. Keep the faith. James reacts, says, still sad he's broke his spine, but sad my nanny died. Can I have membership, please? Do you know what, James? Yeah, so sorry to hear that, mate. And our condolences with you. And I'm sure everybody in the chat as well send their condolences. Ronald says, I'm going for a 3-1 Toon win. Why not? Do you know what? Absolutely, Ronald. Why not? Bonjour, says Julie. Clarky says, I had a bad feeling we'll get hammered tonight. I don't think so, Clarky. I don't think we will. Greg, hi, mate. He says, will be a tough game, but we can do it. Absolutely, Greg. Absolutely. Why not? Let's see what we can do. PD thinks it'll be the same lineup against Chelsea. Do you know what? I've got a feeling Isak will be on the bench. I think he'll start from the bench, Isak. I really do. But, let's see. Has to be Pete. We have no other option, says Julie. Alan says, draw would be fine. Keep the last game alive. Absolutely, Alan. That's it, A draw. And even if we get the draw tonight and we beat Milan, we get through. But even if we ended up finishing third place, it's still not a travesty being in the Europa League, So Either way, we'll still be in Europe. Um, Julie says, still sticking my 1-1 prediction. BS says, I watched under 21 games still today and then they win. Should be once more. Yeah, but what do you think will happen in the match, Clarky? Okay, right. So, yes, so we're going to get to that first thing. Yes, so the young Magpies went out today and beat the PSG youth side 2-1 in the UEFA Youth League. Look, we've had a sticky start in this. We hadn't the best of starts. In the last game, we got a 2-2 draw with Dortmund. This time, we've gone out and we've beat Paris Saint-Germain youngsters 2-1 as well. So, I didn't see the game or anything like that because I was at work. But when I saw the result, I was like, wow, okay, we've gone out there and we've won 2-1. It's great to see the youngsters getting this, done. And, hopefully it's a great omen for tonight's game as well. But yeah, for the young Magpies to beat PSG, it doesn't matter what you're beating PSG or any of the big teams in at the end of the day. A win is a win, whether it's youth team, the first team or any team, at the end of the day, you're still beating one of the giants. Because let's be honest, PSG will have some talented youngsters in that squad. So again, we will see what happens. But hopefully tonight. I mean, like I say, if we got a draw, it wouldn't be the end of the world, and it wouldn't be a bad result to draw tonight. But see those youngsters win, well, absolutely fantastico as well. So yeah, well done to them youngsters winning as well. Yeah, we shall see. Now, one thing we have seen is Luke Edwards has put out to say that we are not interested in signing Hugo Ekitike on loan. The club don't know why that's being pushed out by a lot of media outlets, but he is not on our radar. So there we go. I mean, look, I said on the transfer show I could only report what I see being banded about. To be honest with you, I don't think Hugo Ekitiki's on our radar anyway. But I have got a little bit of news which is being touted around in the area in the East Midlands at the moment. And there seems to be the jungle drums are beating a bit on this one. So first of all, I'll bring Roly in because he's here now. Hi, Roly. How are you?
I'm feeling very Champions League.
Right. Okay. So hold that thought there. So in the city of Nottingham, there is a lot of talk going around in their local press about a possible transfer. Well, they're saying it's a transfer that they want to do. It's not a transfer that we might particularly want to do. Right. Okay. So here we go. Nottingham Forest want Jacob Murphy on a permanent transfer. They want to sign him as they think he would be the type of winger that they need in their team right now after the sale of Brennan Johnson. And there's a few Forest fans are talking this up as well. It's in their local media. If I'm honest with you, one, I don't think he's for sale. And two, there is no way the club are selling Jacob Murphy in the January window. That is for sure. So if Nottingham Forest have got hopes or dreams of getting him anytime soon, they may as well just have them as a pipe dream because there's no reality in it. I can't see Newcastle United selling Murphy, not this season or next season. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a non-starter this. Nottingham Forest can put as much money up as possible. If they come out and say we'll give you 100 million for him, then I think the club might say, well, hang on a minute, we might do business. But at the moment, we need every player we can have on that pitch. And plus, he's out injured at the moment. But again, Jacob Murphy is wanted by Forest. I'm sorry to say, he's not for sale for Forest. And Forest need to go and look elsewhere for a right winger if you're that desperate for a right winger. There are plenty of others out there to choose from. But, you're certainly not having Jacob Murphy. So I'm going to just jump into some comments now. And see what is being said as well. Yeah, and I think obviously at the weekend, Emil Kraft was out with an illness, so he wasn't injured. It was just an absolute illness that he had. But he isn't playing tonight because he's not registered for the Champions League squad. Neither is Matt Ritchie. So if you're wondering why there's no Ritchie or Kraft in the squad, it's because they weren't registered at the start of the season. I'm just going to check if the team news is out yet, but I don't think it will. I think it's another couple of minutes before the team news comes out. No, we've still got pictures of Paris Saint-Germain at the moment. So James React says, I'm going to get your granny quick drum roll, 2 for 1 for the tune. Not a bad shout, mate. I would try that one. Gordon, Richie, Mickey. Richie can't play. No, he can't. Armin Gannon. Richie not in the Champions League squad, no. Alan says, highlights I watched youngsters played well, defended good, and rode their luck, took goals well. Yeah, I saw that a different goalkeeper as well. Never saw that coming, trolls. Tony Ross, evening, Tony, and all win tonight 2-1. Evening to you, Tony Ross. Yeah, let's hope so, mate. Lee says, our thoughts are you, James? Yeah, absolutely, James. James says he's 9. Sad to hear, James. Hope you get well soon. Alan says, second goal, big deflection. Do you know what, Alan? Doesn't matter how they go in, mate, as long as they're scoring the win. Yeah.
They all count.
Yeah. How do I buy membership? Oh, yeah, because you're already a member, Gary. There's a way you can do it by gifting, but I'm not entirely sure how you do the gifting side. It might be on when you click on join. Yeah, I'm not. There's a way you can do it, but I'm not sure. Are there gift setting? Hang on. I think I'm not sure, Gary, how you do it, mate. There might be a thing on when you click on the join button, but I'm not sure. You'll have to leave that one with me for someone else. If anybody else knows how to do the gift inside, if they can give Gary a helping hand. Oh, dollar sign, there we go, yes. The dollar sign in the chat, that's correct, yes. Yeah, and it's got membership gifting on there as well. So there's a thing for membership gifting in there, Gary. So if you click on the dollar sign, and it'll give you a list of options, and click on gift membership. Thanks for that, trolls. Thank you, mate. Clark, he says, okay, Joe Linton left wing, Mickey right wing, Gordon up front. I can see Isak starting from the bench. I can. Parc de France, not a big ground, but just maybe good for us. Absolutely. Wayne says, evening, everybody. And Tony in chat, good evening to you and evening to Roly. Mad Max says, I think YouTube may select who gets them randomly, Gary. Bia says, Roly just finished his Belgian waffles. Clark, he says, I don't think you can gift a membership to who you want. I think it's random. Is it? Is it random? I don't know, mate. I'm not sure. I wouldn't. I've never done it before. All right, Roly, let's have a great tune night. Murphy, no chance. Absolutely. James says, no, Murphy's not going there. Murphy here for a long time. Brian says, I'm sorry I get banned for this, and I should be, but filthy frog eating French bastards. Big up, Tony. No, you're not getting banned for that, but Brian, you're entitled to say that, mate. You know, you'd probably say the same about the Mackhams, but not in that sort of sentence, but in a different sort of context, you know. Although the Mackhams have took it to Ofcom now to complain about Deck's comments about Sunderland, which is very petty in my eyes because, you know,
it's a comedy.
We all know Sunderland's a shithole anyway, especially Hendon, Pennywell, all that area. Murphy isn't going anywhere this season, says Trolls. Absolutely not. Don't think we would sell in January. Definitely not. Sell for 20 million in the summer, says Bia Vacan. Scott, hi mate. He says you can have Fraser for free if he wants them on loan. Do you know what? That's a great move, I would say, yeah. commentate Ryan Fraser instead. That'll be a better move for Forest. Ian says, evening, Tony and Roly in chat. Good evening to you, Ian. Scott says, so you have Tuckwood and John Joe, but no one more won't matter. Absolutely. There's nobody else is going down there, that's for sure. Ronald says Roly's been away watching Royal Antwerp. Thanks, Ronald. Give Forrest a packet of Jacob's cream cracker, says Lee. That's the only Jacob they'll get. Do you know what, Lee? That's a cracking comment, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Wayne says, I think the same team as he can put out against Chelsea, 2-1 win. Trevor says, my ex-wife told me she was buying me a ticket for Shit United against Galatasaray, so I asked her, you hate me that much, lol. I mean, look, you don't want a ticket for bloody Man United games, do you, mate? I mean, Jesus, who else wants to go to Man United? Hopefully Galatasaray will turn them over, won't they? Right, the team's out, so hang on. Right, okay, this is the team for tonight. It is Pope in goal, Trippier, Lascelles, Shea and Livramento.
Excellent.
Bruno, Miley, Joe Linton, Almiron, Gordon, and Isak. There you go. On the bench, it is Dubravka, Karius, Dummett, Hall, Huntley, Ndueni, and Parkinson. So that's the lineup. So the lineup I will get on screen very, very shortly. But it is Ward Bruno in the middle, which is absolutely fantastic. And like I say, that is a good lineup for tonight. So, you know, it's the best lineup we can have. We've got, obviously, we know Willock's off to see a specialist for his Achilles injury, which isn't great. Longstaff's due to be back Saturday night against Man U. And look, bearing in the way Everton attacked Man U the other night, if they had only put their chances away, Man U are looking awful team at the back. They looked really shaky on Sunday night. And I can see us beating them on Saturday night. I really can. They will not want to come to St James's Park, not after we've taken Chelsea apart 4-1 at the weekend. And then for Pochettino to come out with a lot of bloody bullshit at the end of that game, which he really pissed me off when he said, well, Newcastle aren't a great team. What? Newcastle aren't great? We were much better than what you bloody well were. I mean, the only two decent players you probably had on that pitch was probably James and, sorry, not James. Sterling and, in fact, I don't know who the other one was, because looking at that Chelsea lineup, there were Enzo Fernandez maybe. But apart from that, the rest of them were
when Enzo Fernandez, when Lewis Miley emptied his pockets after the game, he found Enzo Fernandez in there.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chelsea in the second half were a shambles. They were a disgrace in that second half. Chelsea were. I mean, look, you don't. I mean, players like Sterling. I mean, he scored a great goal. There was no way Pope was moving for that. As a keeper, as I've said before, I've been a keeper. If you see a shot as good as that, you ain't going to bother moving because it's not worth it. Look, Sterling had a good game for Chelsea. Yes, he blotted his copybook. Why did he have to kick the ball away and get himself a yellow card? James done the same. Then he got a red card because he pulled down Gordon. And he knew what had happened. Reece James is an awful right back. He can't get in the England squad no more because you've got two elder statesmen who are streets ahead of him. And I'm talking Trippier and Kyle Walker are streets ahead of Reece James, who is a youngster, probably about 8 years junior, and he can't get nowhere near that squad because you've got the backup of Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know. And Alexander-Arnold's having to play third choice behind Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier because them two are belying their years of being 33-year-old each because you wouldn't think they were both 33 the way they play. You know, so at the end of the day, Reece James isn't quality enough for England. I wouldn't even want him in our team, to be honest with you. I don't think he's that great. I thought Cole Palmer looked awful. I thought Thiago Silva looked like the type of player who should be hanging up his boots now because a 39-year-old man, a pensioner. what was he doing with that ball? I mean, did he not think, oh, Joe Linton could be hanging around? A very experienced player in Thiago Silva to make that error, I think shows now that he lacks the pace to be in the Premier League. And we ran Chelsea ragged. We could have scored more than 4, if I'm honest. I haven't seen you since then, but I mean, what did you make of that Chelsea game? Did you expect us to win 4-1? Because I said a tight 2-1 win to us.
I thought it'd be 1-0 to us, but first half was actually close. They had, and Gallagher missed a really good chance, so did Joe Linton. She also didn't really look like scoring, and Enzo had that shot saved by Pope, but they weren't really threatening us. Then, and we looked dangerous. Then in the second half, once we got that first goal, I think it's one of those times when I think Thiago Silva had brain freeze and just forgot that the ball was at his feet and Joe Linton was bearing on him. And the moment he realised, it was too late.
More like a brain fart than a brain freeze, Roly.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Anthony Gordon was superb. His crossing for Lascelles, and when the centre halves are up with a ball like that, you want it to go to Lascelles because he's the guy that scores with his head at the back. He attacks the ball, and it's a perfect header. And then obviously it's just the icing on the cake. Gordon scoring the 4th, but we ran them ragged, and at the end they just got frustrated. I think they felt humiliated and they didn't like it. They started giving away free kicks and getting bookings. It was a petulant display. It was quite interesting listening to some of the Chelsea podcasters, because before the game they're saying this could be the best time to play Newcastle. Look at the injuries they've got. This would be the perfect time. Yeah, well, it's the perfect time for us to play because it's just after the international break. All the players most of the players have had a rest, and we looked full of energy, unlike we did against Bournemouth. That international break couldn't have come at a better time. And then they were saying, I think they're moaning about Casado having travelled from South America. It was the late one back, and they said, all our South Americans had to come back. Well, so did Bruno and Joel Linton. They were playing for Brazil. So it's just all these excuses were just that because they got walloped.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, like I say, he pissed me off at the end of that game, Pochettino, when he come out and said, well, Newcastle weren't great. And I'm like, what? I thought, well, what match were you watching? Because you were sitting in the stands, so you had a bloody good view. You weren't on the dugout. You were high up in the stands, so you had a great view, I'm sorry, but the thing with Chelsea is, right, they've got too many individuals in that team. And I'll tell you one thing Chelsea lack is a proper centre-forward, because he ain't got one. They're using Nicholas Jackson, who is not a centre-forward, and another one who wanted to try and get another one who ran to the referee and was shouting for Jamal Lascelles to be sent off. He demanded a red card for Lascelles to the referee because he thought Lascelles had clacked him in the face. Yes, Lascelles knew what he was doing, but it was certainly not a red card offence. It was a yellow card offence. So, for him to go off complain to the referee that Jamal Lascelles should have been sent off was absolutely ridiculous.
It's they don't like losing and they can't take it. I mean, he's right in if he's saying that we weren't a great team. If he's talking about the performance on Saturday, it wasn't great. If we'd had a great performance on Saturday, we'd have put 8 past them like we did Sheffield United.
Yeah. We're still waiting for the PSG lineup to be announced because that hasn't come out yet. So I'm on their official Twitter, but they still haven't got anything out, and it's nothing on Sky either yet about that lineup. So, are they keeping that under wraps or something? Are they? Are they not allowed to share that? Because
I think
we just
the thing that people say, "Oh, we've got a lot of injuries," and we have, but when you look at all the players we've got out, we can still field a very strong starting 11. The problem
sorry,
is,
Roly, hang on. I've got the Paris Saint-Germain lineup here. So in goal is Donnarumma. Let's make another miserable night for him. Right back is Hakimi, with Milan Skriniar and Danilo Pereira as the two centre backs. Left hand side is Lucas Hernandez. In the midfield three, it's Fabian Ruiz, Manuel Ugarte, and Lee Kang-in. Up front, it's Ousmane Dembele on the right, with Randall Kolo Muani in the middle and Kylian Mbappe on the left. The substitutes is Mukelele, Carlos Sola, Marco Asensio, Goncalo Ramos, Arnaud Tenas, Vitinha, Bradley Barcola, and Alexandre Letellier. That is their lineup tonight for PSG. So they are announced that Mbappe is playing. We know Mbappe is on fire at the minute. He scored a hat-trick for France, but there again, anybody can score against bloody Gibraltar. I'm surprised the goalkeeper didn't score against Gibraltar, to be fair. So, yeah.
it'd be interesting to see Tino against Mbappe.
Yes, it will be. Yeah, won't it?
Tino's got the pace that Dan Burn hasn't.
Yeah.
And he's been playing superbly for us. So I'm really excited to see that. Dembele against Trippier.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. You see, I thought Isak might have been rested, but just come back from injury. That's why I thought he might have. But then again, I can see why we're playing him. Maybe he might get about an hour's run out, and then it'll be like, bring him off just to save him for Saturday. At least we've got an extra day's rest over Man United.
I think they'll give him 70, 75 minutes and then take him off.
Jan says, surprise striker, Loris Karius.
Parkinson might get him now. That'd be good for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's the only striker we've got on the bench, because obviously we can't take Matt Ritchie isn't in the squad, so he can't play. So
it's like Julie says, Kyle Walker, Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James. I'll tell you what it is, right? Reece James, like I said, I don't think he's quality enough for England. I've never liked him, and I've never said he'd be. I mean, look, looks good at club football. I don't think he's England quality, if I'm honest, right? Now then, you look at that list. You've got Walker, Trippier, Alexander-Arnold. I tell you who else gets ahead of Reece James once he gets going properly. And that's Livramento.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I'd rather have Livramento.
He'll be ahead of Reece James. Now, another thing that's come out as well is Nick Pope's been speaking, and he's clarified that he has no fallout at all with anything of Gareth Southgate. He says there hasn't been a falling out between the two of them. He says it's just that he can't get in the team at the moment. He says, but he says he's hoping in the future that he gets back in the England fold. But he says there is definitely no fallout between him and Gareth Southgate. So at least he come out and said something anyway, Pope, about it. Because he was asked because there's a lot going on that he may have had a falling out with Southgate, but he hasn't.
It's his distribution's the problem.
Yeah, and the footwork, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he can get that sorted, he'd leapfrog all the keepers we've got.
Yeah.
For England.
I mean, what do you think of Reece James? Do you rate him? I don't.
He's a decent right back, but he's not all that.
Yeah.
He's still quite young, but he's. I think
25.
It's still quite. It's not reached his peak yet. It's approaching it. I think he's one of those players that, as the team goes, he goes. When the team's doing well, he plays better. I'm not sure that he's a grafter when things aren't going well. You get some players that's a bit like what they call a flat track bully. When they're playing well, when the team's playing well and really beating teams, he looks outstanding. But when the going gets tough and they're up against difficult opposition, he struggles.
Mm-hmm. Alan's asking a question. Is it right that if Bruno gets booked tonight, he misses the AC Milan game? Somebody said in the chat of another podcast.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
And has he been? I'm not sure it's been booked. Has he been booked?
One player I was hoping was going to get booked on Sunday was Ferryface.
Anders.
Yeah, because if he got booked on Sunday, he wouldn't play on Saturday, but he didn't get a book. And I was hoping he might have just gone in for a rash tackle somewhere and picked up a stupid yellow card, but fortunately he didn't. But in the Champions League, yes, he's been booked twice. So yes, he would. If he got booked tonight, yes, he would miss.
Okay.
He would miss the next game against AC Milan. So he's got to just avoid a booking tonight. So he could well be right there, Alan. Brian says, like Arsenal Southern Softies can't accept to lose. No, absolutely. Yeah, everybody else is saying that's right. Poch is a so hi to Matt in Coffee, who's just come into the chat as well. Doesn't Dembele go up against Tino? Yes, he will, because Tino will be playing left back and Mbappe will be up against Trippier.
Okay, no. Am I wrong?
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting it's going to be an interesting thing, isn't it? So a game tonight, I mean, look, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough over there, let's be honest. But, you know, we surprised them at St James's Park. And it, you know, we'll be buoyed by that 4-1 win on Saturday. You know, we've come back from the international break. We'll look refreshed again. We'll look hungry. You know, what's your thoughts for tonight, Roly?
It's going to be a tough game. They're going to want revenge for what we did to them at St James's Park. We're going to be wanting to win to stay live in the tournament. It's going to be a really difficult game for us. I'd like to think we can win it. I'd like to think 2-1, but I don't know. They're a very good side. You don't get into this tournament if you're not a good side.
No.
And we've got one of the better sides in our group. We've got 3 of the better sides in the tournament. I don't think there's ever been a group as strong as this one.
No. Max put it in there. He says, if Isak goes off, stick Lascelles up top, he's the best header of a ball. Absolutely.
Yeah. Look,
Anthony Gordon's proven why he should be in that England team.
Yeah. Yeah.
He needs to be in there. I can't wait till we go to Goodison Park, because I'm sure if Anthony Gordon scores, he will celebrate. He will.
We go there soon as well.
And I thought Pope kept us level in Chelsea game. We really one good-handed save. Yeah, that save against Fernandes was terrific. The power it was as well. Our options off the bench are shocking, so hopefully no injury, says Foxy. Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough game, so I'm predicting a 4-1 win. I
hope you're right, Coffee.
I hope you're right. I mean, look, Roly, what's your thoughts on the game tonight, like score-wise? What's your predictions for tonight?
My heart says 2-1 to the team. My head isn't really agreeing because it has no idea. I had no idea. I'm just hoping that because they're at home PSG a little bit more nonchalant, don't take us as seriously as they should do. I don't think they'll underestimate us like they did at St James's Park. But if they think because
Yeah,
they're at home they're going to just steamroller us, we'll show them up. I mean, the games we lost to Dortmund, all three of their goals were on the break.
yeah,
They didn't outplay us. It was really even. Both games were really even. I mean, they got the second one that killed the game at Dortmund when we were pushing for an equaliser. So it's
if we keep it 0-0 at half time, we have a chance to nick it. If we concede the first half, I can see 3 or 4-0 PSG, unfortunately.
depends. It's too hard to call.
Craig says Man U would be on 0 points with a minus 10 goal difference in our group.
Yeah, they would. I mean, the thing about this group
going for 2-2.
is whatever happens, we've not been embarrassed. We've had some good results. We had a very credible draw at Milan. We absolutely bumped PSG and 2 very close games against Dortmund that could have gone either way.
Yeah, absolutely. So Paul's going for a 2-2. Bia's going for a 2-1. Isak and Gordon. Craig says 3-1. Take game until the last half an hour and we take over. I like it, mate. I like it. Paul says PSG have 2 players missing as well, key players. That's interesting. Ryan says, I just think as a club we should be proud if considering where we are when Eddie took over. If we go out, the club and fans hold their heads up. Do you know what? Absolutely spot on. Yeah, I mean, look, to get where we are in 2 years, it's just a dream. If you said to me 2 years ago, in 2 years' time, we'll be in the Champions League, we'll be playing PSG, Milan will have beat PSG 4-1 at St James's Park, I would have just laughed at you. I really would have. So, yeah, absolutely.
It's not
a 2-1 win for us.
It's not a case of remembering where we were 2 years ago. It's look at where we are now. We're in the toughest group by far in the Champions League, and we're holding our own.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, we can hold our heads up high because the lads have done a terrific job. 2 of the results haven't been what we'd have liked, but hey, we've got 90 minutes of football. Anything can happen. The guys will be full of confidence after what we did to Chelsea. They look refreshed. You look at the second Dortmund game, they were pressing. We were dead on our feet.
Yeah.
Now you look at the game. We've obviously followed up that with the defeat at Bournemouth, and you could see that the guys were mentally and physically drained. They've had the international break.
I mean, look, as long as Milan and Dortmund draw, he says he's confident going into the last game at home to get a Europa League as a minimum.
That'd be good.
And he says it's been a positive campaign regardless. Absolutely. Mr. T. Tony, is it the same as Saturday? Yes, I'll pop it back on screen for you, Gary. There you go, my friend.
It's just been a remarkable performance to get to where we are now. And what we need to do is get a result. So going into the last game, we've got a chance of something.
Paul's made a good point there. Warren Zaire, Emery will be a big miss. Yes, he will be because I thought he was terrific when he played for PSG. When we at St James's Park, we play better sides than PSG week in week out in the Premier League. So we've already beaten City, PSG, Arsenal, Man U, Chelsea this season. It's just another notch on the goalpost. Coffee says how many Newcastle fans are at the Paris game. Quite a lot. I think there's only about. It wasn't a huge thing, but a huge amount of fans to go.
A lot of tickets, but
I know I've seen fans say that it's not a nice place, Paris. It's a nice city, but the French people are not very nice. No, that I've been to Paris many times. That kit will have beaten anybody, absolutely. We're always at our best when we backs to the wall. And it's totally justified being in the Champions League, not being outplayed by anybody in its so-called group of death. So we'll be back if it goes wrong. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. But I think we can go out there and we can beat them. It's
I think
11v11 at the end of the day. Another share screamer pending, lads. What you reckon? Do you know what? I'd be surprised. He nearly had one on Saturday, didn't he? Sanchez got his hands to it. So yeah, I'm going for a tight game tonight, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to us.
yeah, it's me too. I say my heart says that. Whether my head agrees or not is a different matter.
You're spot on there, Gary. So that. Imagine if Miley scores against PSG as a 17-year-old. Yeah, absolutely. Coffee says when he was 17, he was playing video games. So there you go. Craig says, how you man? Anyone that eats snails is wrong. Zaya Emery is a miss, but he's only 17. Ruiz, Ugarte, Lee with Vitinha, Asensio. Yeah, absolutely. It's ridiculous, really, where kids and dumb it. You have
That's
to be in it to win. Absolutely, Ronald.
that's because we've got so many players out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the shame of this Champions League campaign is that once we got to the Dortmund games, that's when the injuries were starting to pile up, and we just didn't have the options to rotate. If we'd been able to rotate before the Dortmund game, we might have beaten.
Yes.
But it is what it is. And we're going to go out and we're going to, at the end of the day, we want a team that tries. Doesn't have to win as long as they try, and this team does.
Absolutely. It's not over until the final whistle. So, one thing we're going to quickly talk about before we close the show. It's been announced by the IFAB that they're going to trial sin bins in football. Good idea or a bad idea? I think it's a great idea. And that they only want captains to speak to the referee, not the other players. I think great idea as well.
Yeah, I think that's sin bins. I'm not sure how they would do that. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad idea. It's just I mean, they could see how long a player would be sin bin for. I think they need to sort out the mechanics of how it would work. Is it sort of like an option instead of a red card? You sin bin them a couple of times and then they get a red, or what's it for? Is it for a yellow card, or is it for what are the criteria? What are the criteria of being sin binned? If it's for a yellow card, you're going to end up with sort of like 5-a-side games in some matches if people are sin binned for yellow cards. They've got to be really careful of how it's implemented and what constitutes a sin bin. It may be for a challenge like let's call it Havertz, where the ref didn't give a red and probably should have. If he had been sin binned, it probably wouldn't have got quite so heated the game. I really don't know how that's my issue, is the criteria. If it's for yellow cards, you're going to end up with a 5-a-side game for however long the sin bin lasts.
Well, I'm sure there'll be more comes out in due course anyway, but we'll just have to wait out. Right, so there's great content tonight, lads. Now let's eat these snail eaters. How are the lads? Absolutely.
They're saying that they wanted to expand the use of VAR. I'm thinking, let's get it right first before they actually start looking at other incidents like yellow cards and corners and free kicks. Get it working properly with what it's doing now before you expand it.
Well, that's something we'll keep for another day and talk about that. But anyway, coming to the end of the show now. Anyway, so if you have liked what you see, so please do smash that like. If you haven't done so already, just give it a like. Only takes a couple of seconds. Keeps the channel near the top of the search, and it means new viewers find the channel. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe. Free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And that bell notification will let you know when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So do enjoy the game tonight, because I'm going to be off to go and get my tea before the match starts as well. I'm unsure about sin bin, says Alan. Be strange in football. Yes, it will be. These boys can hold their heads high, win, lose, or draw. They're performing miracles. Absolutely, Gary.
Yep.
It's for diving and deception. Yes, then that's a good idea. Foxy says, Cookie Romero said, would be in the sin bin every 5 minutes for Spurs.
The problem with that is it's all very subjective, because someone's dive is someone's foul. It's not a man's foul. I have a problem with that, unless it's blatant. And then you get the ones where, he dived. Why isn't he sin bin? Well, was it blatant? What do you call blatant? I think it's difficult for using it for something that's subjective. It's like you look at our goal against Arsenal. When the ball came across, loads of people said that there's a foul on was it Saliba or was it Gabriel, and lots of people said there wasn't. So if it's subjective, something that's subjective, I do have a problem with that.
Julie says, if it's something in the sin bin, throw the key away. How are the lads? Everybody's saying. Don't forget, tune review or doing a watch along. So do join on there. I hope this ref accepts our physicality, unlike other European refs. Well, at least let's hope it. Well, at least it's not the same referee as England had, because he was a joke.
To be honest, the refs for our games in the Champions League have been pretty good.
Yeah, they have been. Anyway, so remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. And do enjoy the game. And let's hope it's a great 3 points as well tonight. Let's hope so anyway. But it's bye-bye from me.
That's goodbye from me.
Are we the lads?